This is Andrew Aloha live out of Tucson, Arizona with Spiritual Productions on Blog Talk Radio and free conferencing. Oh, excuse me. No, we're not on free conferencing tonight. And webinar jam, establishing and maintain right relationships through human lives. Aloha, welcome to tonight's Andrew Aloha Live. Tonight, we are doing the fourth part of the Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference 2014 series. We've been interviewing a number of people, and tonight being Annie Stillwater Gray, what's happening is next weekend the Ozark Mountain is going to be doing a whole conference in Arkansas. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned and we'll give you some more information about that. Tonight we're going to be talking about education of a guardian angel. Aloha, Annie, how are you?
Aloha, Andrew.
Thank you for being here.
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, good.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, where are you located at, anyhow?
I'm in Maine. I'm in western Maine.
Wow, holy cow, really? I don't know if I've interviewed anybody from Maine before. There's a first time for everything, huh?
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. And again, just to let you know, Annie here has written a book called Education of a Guardian Angel. And if you, I don't know if you want to check it out. If people want to check it out, how do they do that? Where do they go to for that?
Oh, I can go to the Ozark Mountain website.
Okay, and they can grab it from there.
Yes, but ozark.com. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Education of a Guardian Angel is a book about the master. It's a master's guide for the master guides have decided it is time for humans to know what is possible. The relationship between a human and a spirit guide and has always been sacred. Now, a combination of factors is making conscious contact and constant communication between guides and humans humans a reality. The time is right for you not only know your guides, but to develop a deep relationship with them. You can work with your guides to improve your life and life on Earth. It is a challenging and joyful undertaking. This is the true life account of the author's experience with her life guide. This beautiful story gives us insight into the education of a guardian angel. And just to let you know, Annie Stillwater Gray is a writer, a mystic, and astrologer with an international clientele, a public speaker, an audio and visual artist, and a songwriter, a teacher, and a media veteran. Annie has been on air since 1974 and has her own syndicated radio program, the General Store Variety Show, now in its 14th year. Annie has studied integrated energy therapy, Reiki, Bach flower remedies. She's received a BFA from Boston University in graphic arts and writing. She writes songs and designs all the CD covers, publicity material for her bands. Her current band is the Western Quintet Merry-Go-Round. Really? Is that true?
Merry-Go-Round up. Yeah.
Oh, Roundup. Excuse me. Yeah. And we're going to talk to some more to Annie about her band, about her book, about her guides, about a lot of the stuff that she's doing right now. And we will talk to her about this. Right now, what I want to do is give a big aloha to all our underwriters, beginning with Mahadikini Lore at www.mahadikini.com. Mahadikini Lore's life, it has been a personal journey exploring sexuality and spirituality for over 20 years. She's a certified tantric counselor and tantric healer and a certified mind sound teacher. Mahadikini Lore is also a graduate of Margot Nun's year-long Sky Dancing Tantra Facilitator Training Program and is a current member of the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists Club, and is, of course, a charter member of the Association of Sexual Energy Professionals. She regularly attends trainings and conferences to keep current with the latest research and information on sexual education. And then we have the 90-Day Ascension Journey at www.90dayascensionjourney.com. When you sign up for the 90-Day Ascension Journey, you will be facilitated with finding and redefining and defining your soul or true life purpose. You will be assisted with finding out what Ascension means to you. On this journey, you will be provided with tools, techniques, and assistance to empower you to connect and reconnect with yourself, your emotions and feelings, and your mind, body, and spirit. Through a universal, soul-centered process, you will be going through a lifelong transformation that will allow you to move forward with endeavors and with your endeavors and never look back if you dare. And again, the Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference at www.transformation-conference.com. Register now for the 2014 Annual Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference with speakers that include Robert Bovall, Dolores Cannon, Catherine and Patrick Andrews, Ronald Chapman, Jack Churchward, Victoria Hunt, Guy Needler, Sherry O'Brien, Andy Stillwater Gray, Blair Stereo, Natalie Sugman, and Sherry Wild. The Publishing Transformation Conference will be held at the Holiday Inn in Springdale, Arkansas, from the 22nd through the 20th through the 22nd of June, and will include a film premiere along with a Meet the Speakers dinner as well. Then we have the Artichoke Water at www.artiewater.com. The artichoke is the edible flower bud of a thistle-like plant in the sunflower family and has been eaten for more than 3,000 years. They are low in saturated fat and cholesterol and contain vitamin C, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folate, vitamin B6 and B12, A, E, D, and K, along with calcium, iron, zinc, sodium, potassium, manganese, phosphorus, and zinc. According to the USDA, it also has the highest antioxidant levels out of all the vegetables, and now you can drink it too to avoid cancer, bad cholesterol, high blood pressure, liver damage, digestive issues, hangovers, osteoporosis, along with the brain and metabolic malfunctions. And then we have Jim Hamilton at www.coreresonance.com. Author and entrepreneur Jim Hamilton unlocks the secrets of true success and introduces clients to new levels of success, unlimited abundance, and access to innate guidance. He says success begins to show up in synchronicities, fortuitous circumstances, and a steady progression of naturally unfolding events. That indicates one's alignment with the fundamental truth of one's nature as it relates to the cosmos. He introduces Core Resonance System's ultimate personal performance as a technology designed to release limiting beliefs and values that block our ability to allow innate intelligence to express through us. And then we have Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops at www.samaracenter.com. Founder of Samara Psychic Education Center in England, Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops' psychic and healing talents have been recognized since her early childhood. She's a PhD, minister, metaphysician, clinical hypnotherapist, doctor of integrated medicine, paranormal teacher, author, psychic healer, therapist, counselor, metaphysical therapist. She's also an author of 7 metaphysically oriented books that have been published both in Western and Eastern Europe, as well as Russia, China, Mexico, and India. She has also practiced successfully in Spain, France, Switzerland, India, Egypt, Japan, England, Mexico, and the United States. And then finally, we do have Zakairan Shion at www.zakairan.com. Zakairan Shion teaches you how to co-create heaven on earth, how to become empowered to co-create heaven in your life, how to master the law of attraction to make your dreams come true, and learn tips on how to focus your energy and attention in a consistent and persistent way so that you can be healthy, wealthy, and happy. Ask questions, find out the secrets of the universe, find out how easy creating heaven on earth is in your life. Zakairan is an emissary of light and love, completely dedicated to the awakening of humanity to fulfill their mastery and the co-creation of heaven on earth. So, and if you didn't catch all this, or you want to find out more details, go to spiritualimage.productions.com. On the right-hand side, there's a place where you can sign up for the email list, and then on the left-hand side, there's a link that says Andrew Aloha Live. If you click on that page, that will take you to all the information here about Annie and also and the Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference, and then it will also take you to give you all the information for our underwriters for this month. So, and I want to thank you again here for being here, Annie, taking your time to share with us. And again, if you want to catch Annie live and in person, she's going to be in Arkansas next weekend at the Transformation Conference for Ozark Mountain. Aloha, Annie.
Aloha.
Thank you for being here. And so, first of all, if you want to just kind of give us an overview of who you are and where you grew up at, how you got to where you're at, and then we'll go into your book. How's that?
Well, all right. I'm a northeastern gal. I grew up here, and I love Maine. I'm a big gardener, obviously into music, between radio and my band. And I've just always been a seeker, much like yourself.
I hear you.
And I was a in a, I was in one of those dips you get into in life sometimes where I had hurt my back, I had lost my job, one of those places. And my life guide, and I should probably explain that everybody has a life guide. That's probably the first thing I should point out, is everybody has a spirit guide that's specifically chosen them to watch over. That's why it's called a guardian angel, because many people prefer to use that term, although the spirit guides themselves, they use the term spirit guide. Anyway, my spirit guide started to talk to me when I hit bottom like that, when I was in that dip. And I thought, of course, that I had, kind of lost my mind a little bit there, I was hearing this male voice, and it had a British accent. So I went, whoa, what's this about? And, of course, I learned that it was my life guide, and that he'd been waiting for me to wake up and listen to him.
Well, no, I've always heard them called primary guides. I think they might be the same thing, but yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, primary guide, correct. In our lives, we probably work with many different guides, but it's your life guide or your primary guide is the one that brings them in, sort of like a traffic cop. When you change jobs and you might need a different kind of a spirit guide, or you start a family and you need a different kind of spirit guide to help you with that. But your primary guide, your life guide, is always there. Exactly. You can count on it.
Now, at any given, I've also been heard that if you want to change that guide and you for whatever reason, then you're allowed, you can just make that command and then you can do that or whatever. But I don't know if that, if people want to do that or if they want, or whatever. But I think
I'm not sure about that. I know that another guide can step in for a while for sure, but that guide, the primary guide, the life guide, has signed a contract, has signed on.
Got it.
So it would have to be something. I don't know exactly how that would work, but I know that other guides can come in and take over for a while when you need them.
And maybe that's the case. It's undetermined, but anyhow, go ahead with you're talking about guides.
Well, I think the first thing I ought to say is that it was actually my life guide, Darcy Stillwater, who wrote the book. I was simply the scribe.
Now, who did you say this was?
My guide's name is Darcy Stillwater.
Oh, okay. And now, who is this person?
He, you read the book and you find out. The book starts with his death it starts with his death. Isn't that interesting? It starts with his death in England in 1836. And then you follow him. Yeah, you follow him through all the different things that he has to do to become a spirit guide. The first thing that happens is they tell him, you know what? You did pretty good in that last Earth life. You did so well that you have this opportunity now to not have to go back as a human, but you can go back instead to help humans. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's where it starts, and then he goes through all his training. He goes through classes in unconditional love. He goes through a class in non-judgment. He learns how to read energy fields. He learns how to read death imprints and birth imprints. The birth imprint is like the astrological chart. But we also have a death imprint. Yeah, we have a death imprint as well, which factors into what we're going to do next. What our spirit's going to do next, our soul.
Got it.
So, yep. And then I come into the picture about halfway through the book.
Okay.
He actually rescues me from Earth. I was a little orphan Italian boy who ended up in an orphanage in Brooklyn. Pretty squalid situation, hungry, filthy, and he begs and begs. He's begging through the first part of the book to meet me. Where is she? How come I'm here and how come she's not here? How come I'm here? Because it turns out I was his instructor in Egypt,
wow.
in the healing school. Yeah, I was his teacher, but I screwed up, Andrew. I made some bad karma for myself.
Really?
Yeah.
You did that? No way. Little old Annie? No way.
It's true enough. Anyway, the whole story's in the book. Yeah, the story's in the book. Yep.
Okay, I mean, and you know, we got plenty of time, so you can share whatever you want with us. So now, you were a little Italian boy in the last lifetime. Is that what I hear you're saying?
Yeah. Well, my parents were born in Livorno, Italy, and they decided to come to America. All right, this isn't about 1900. And they came over, but they both died aboard ship, so I ended up in America as an orphan.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and but there's a very moving part of the book. It's about halfway through where my life guide in that lifetime. I was Little Tony. They called me Little Tony. My life guide was this American Indian fellow named Many Feathers, and Many Feathers takes Darcy down to Earth to get me. And there's this whole scene where me and my cronies from the orphanage are trying to steal fruit because we're so.
And I'm you're naughty guy.
Well, listen what happened. So I'm ready to catch this pear. One of my buddies is. I'm supposed to be distracting the vendor, so I'm out in front distracting the vendor, and then my buddy tosses me this pear. And I'm dragging up and backing up to catch it like you would a fly ball, right? And I back right into the path of a horse-drawn, very heavy milk wagon. No. But it was fast. The horse knocked me out first, and then it ran over me and squished me. And believe me, I was born this lifetime with a misshapen pelvis.
Really? No, you know, it's funny because just recently, about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to a nurse because I was in for a checkup, and I was telling her the same thing. She was thinking I was crazy. She goes, "Well, can I send you to a psychologist?" I go, "Yeah, right. They're gonna they're gonna think I'm abnormal compared to them, and to me, they're abnormal to me. So what difference does it make?" So anyhow, you know, I said, yeah, you know. Some of these injuries that I have in my body are probably from other lifetimes, and I'm having to treat them now. And instead of way back then, I probably died with them. These
exactly. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did a reading with one woman who was terrified of being raped, and she had never ever been raped, but she just had nightmares about it and everything. And of course, she died in a rape situation the lifetime before.
Oh, really?
So
wow.
these things do carry over. They do carry over. That's what the death imprint is all about. Yeah. And
then not only that, but
so anyway,
but just to tell you, in some lifetimes, I may have only lived till 50 years old or whatever, and in this lifetime, when I turn 60 or whatever, I may be living. My body isn't used to being that old, so it's having to adjust to all that as well on top of that. But go ahead.
Oh, I hear you. I'm right there because I lived to be 6 in the last lifetime. I lived to be 20 the lifetime before, maybe 30 the lifetime before. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what were you saying just now? Right after that.
Well, I was going to say that sometimes I read that passage of the book in my classes because it helps people who have lost children to understand that the angels are right there, the guides, and are right there when a child dies, and they take them right away. Exactly. And take care of them.
Nice.
And that really, it's a great comfort to people who have lost children, or anyone really, to know that it's really blissful. In fact, probably passing over or death is probably 1,000 times more blissful than being born.
Exactly.
There's a whole sequence. Yeah, there's a whole sequence of my birth in this book too, which part of my karma was in the birth process, where I was twisted in the birth canal.
Wow.
You know. And that was part of the karma. Of course, my guide, Darcy, was extremely upset. He said, "What kind of world is this?" Because I was pulled out with forceps. They used to do that then.
Oh, my God.
And so, yeah. They drugged my mother, so she couldn't help. There was no doctor on call. He had a tea time at the golf course. So he wanted to get me out of there so he could go play his golf game. So he grabbed me with forceps and yanked me out, and I got caught up in there, and he had to twist me around, and that set my karma for this lifetime.
Wow. All because of negligence and arrogant doctor. Isn't that the truth?
Yep. I guess that's the truth. Yep. I'm glad it's different. I'm glad it's different now.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, when you were growing up, did you talk to ghosts? Did you talk to spirits? Did you get abducted? Were you taking the ships or anything?
No, but I've always had a real connection with plants and trees. I can commune with plants and trees. Yeah. In fact, I have a whole relationship with the elemental level, and with especially the elves.
Wow. Well, now, when you say that, you mean you were able to talk to them telepathy since you were a kid, and they would understand and you would understand them?
Yes, I've been. Well, no, that conscious kind of communication didn't come till later. But I could definitely sense them, see them, catch glimpses, that sort of thing. But the conscious communication came with the conscious communication with my spirit guide.
Okay, so, and I guess that maybe that's what I want to get to that point. Yeah, and your parents, well, I guess you didn't really get into the paranormal very much at all growing up, and so your parents didn't have anything to do with that at all. They didn't.
No. No, but I said that you're an astrologer, so you'd understand when I tell you that I have the planet Uranus rising.
Oh, really? Wow. Oh man. Yeah, you are. Yeah,
so I was always the odd one, the eccentric one, the different one. Yeah.
The rebel without a cause. What are you talking about? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, but I got into astrology when I was very young.
Oh, really? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I thought astrology made a great deal of sense to me.
Yeah,
it seemed very logical.
I didn't get into astrology till later on, like in my mid-20s or something like that. I don't remember when.
Yep. Well, you know what happened? I saw my chart and I knew I'd seen it before. I had one of those connections where I looked at it and I went, "Wow, I know that." And sure enough, I had seen it before. Before I was, my soul was incarnated in the body that I'm in right now. I had seen it. It's part of the whole process as you prepare for Earth life, is to set up that astrological chart, which is your birth imprint.
Got it. Wow. So then.
So I had.
At which point do you start really getting into the paranormal, getting into consciously talking to the plants and really working with all this stuff?
I'm going to just put it right when I started talking with Darcy, because that made the world a difference to me. And I'll give you the picture. I was visiting my mother on Christmas Day, and this was 1989. That was the year they had the big revolution in Romania, and they killed the king and the king's wife and the king's kids. And it was Christmas Day, and I was so depressed. I said, when I had a good cry about it, and I said, when is anything going to get better on this planet? And I went outside to take a walk, and a master guide began talking to me. I knew it wasn't Darcy because the voice was different. It had a ringing to it. And it turns out that it was the master guide Archilus who asked me to work with Darcy to write the first book that we did, which is the Dawn book, Information from the Master Guides.
Okay, wait a minute. Time. Did you say Arcturus?
Yeah.
Oh, because the woman that I interviewed a woman just about 2 hours ago. She said she met him recently as well. So that's interesting.
Okay.
So Arcturus is a busy guy. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, exactly. Very busy. Yeah.
Go ahead.
In fact, the guides and master guides are very busy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're in this time of transformation where the energy level on the Earth is increasing. I know you know this, and so we need to be aware of it so we can take advantage of it. And the opportunities are many. And one of the opportunities is to become telepathically savvy, so that you can, when you have your telepathic center awakened, you can talk to your life guide, you can talk to any guides or any spirits that are helping you, you can talk to trees, you can talk to plants, you can talk to crystals, all of it.
I hear you, and I do. I talk to a lot of these beings. So, okay, I hear you. So, now, tell me again, you met Darcy when?
Met Darcy in 1989.
Okay. In 1989. And
I mean,
as an apparition.
Yeah, he'd always.
Go ahead.
Oh, he showed himself to me very clearly.
Oh,
And
really?
the first thing that happened, though, is the first thing that happened was I could hear him. I could hear him extremely clearly. All right, this is what happened. I'm living in this old pre-Civil War cave with no running water. I had a hand pump in the kitchen, and I know you've roughed it in your life sometimes, and I know you know what that's kind of like. So I had hurt my back, and I had to go over and pump the hand pump and fill the kettle and then bring it over onto the wood stove and heat the water so I could do the dishes, and it was really kind of hard. And all of a sudden he said to me, you know, you listen to a lot of music, but you never listen to classical music. How about you listen to classical music too?
Probably because he wanted to listen to classical music, I bet you, but anyhow.
Yes, no, he did. So if you got to understand, I'm a radio person. I've been a DJ for 40 years, so
wow.
I had a wall of vinyl records because this is just prior to when CDs came in.
Yes,
I had a wall of vinyl records. So I walked into the room and I didn't even look. I just let him guide my hand, and he said, I'd like to listen to Bach, but I know you don't have any Bach, but how about Beethoven? And I pulled out the one Beethoven album that I had without even looking.
Now
without looking.
You're saying
Yep.
you're seeing him physically, and you're conversing with him physically all this time at this point. Is that right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Are you kidding? We're married.
Huh?
We're married.
Oh, I didn't know that. You were from another lifetime or from this lifetime?
Oh, other lifetimes and this lifetime.
Oh, really? Wow, interesting. Okay, I hear you.
Yep. Oh, yeah. In fact, I'm hoping that when I go to this transformation conference, I will meet other people who have married their spirit guides, because I know they're out there.
You know,
so if you're listening to me,
there's a woman that I have to introduce you. We'll talk about her later, but go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that we got married in 1991. It was right after we finished writing the Dawn book. In fact, he kept proposing, and I said, look, let's just finish this, and one thing at a time, kind of, and he understood that.
Okay, go ahead.
That's
a typical relationship, but go ahead.
It is in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Well, I was doing some. I was in a part of a spiritual healing group at the time, and it was my turn to lead. And he proposed to me in the healing group, so that I had witnesses, and I had to say, I had to answer him.
Wait a minute. Okay, hang on. He's there. Okay, now in this proposal, again, is he in a physical body or he's not in a physical body?
No, he's in the spirit body.
Okay.
Spirit body. He's always. Yep.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean he can still move energy around.
Got it. And so when he's proposing to you in front of these people, you're translating everything to them. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yep. Other people picked up on it too. I was with a group of very talented people.
Okay, I get it. Go ahead.
Yep. And in fact, when we actually had the ceremony, which was November 1st, 1991, we had it on two levels. We had it on the spirit guide plane and also here down in my little house in Maine.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't thought about that one, and I definitely want to introduce you to this woman. I think she would like that, and that might speed up her process for what she's trying to accomplish. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, so we've been married for over 20 years.
Wow.
It's been interesting.
Okay. All right, I hear you. All right, so you're...
And you...
Go ahead.
Well, no, I said to him when he asked me, I said, well, you can't carry my firewood and you can't, help me with my car when my car breaks down. I said, I kind of need a physical man around too, And he said, that's okay. That's fine. But so I married him first, and then 3 years later I met my current husband, my current human husband.
Oh, wow. Is that legal? Isn't that considered polygamy?
Well, I think it's legal because since Darcy isn't really a resident of Earth, so I mean, he's a resident of the spirit guide plane.
All right, I hear you. go ahead. So what
Oh, we've only
okay,
just.
Okay, I got to ask this. So what does your current husband think of all this?
Oh yeah, he knew about it from the beginning. Our first date, he bought the Dawn book, so he knew it from the beginning.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I got to say, never a dull moment. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, so go ahead.
Well, then.
Okay, go ahead. From where you want to go from?
Oh, well, I just wanted to then say that talk about the second half of the first half of the book is Darcy in training and wondering where I am. In the second half of the book, we were working together to get me ready to come back to Earth. So it was the plan all along that we would be able to work together through the veil. You know, him on that side and me on this side.
Got it.
But now I'm here to encourage everybody to start working with your spirit guides because we have this rare opportunity with the energy on the planet now that we can awaken more of our brain. You know how scientists say we only use a small portion of our brain. Yep. Well, now we can use more of it, including the telepathic center, as you know. And once you wake that up, then you can make your spirit guide a part of your life.
Absolutely. So
I
guess when you're working, well, okay. So you get married, and then now at this point, after you get married with your current husband in the physical body, then what happens? What's happening now? Are you like all of a sudden starting to teach people, starting to do workshops, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, actually, I started that back in 1990. I do workshops where I help people connect with their guides. I teach them how to get that telepathic center cranking. I teach them about guides, who they are, you know, what they go through, some guides, and how they can help us. I mean, the possibilities are really immense. I mean, we've only touched the tiniest. I mean, I could tell you right now something that would blow your mind.
I'm waiting, and very little blows my mind, but that's besides the point. There you go.
Well, Darcy and I have had children together.
In this lifetime or another lifetime?
Both.
Really? So you had So you had physical children in other lifetimes, but you're saying that you've had children here that were etheric children. They were I don't know.
They're spirit, correct.
Spirit kids.
Yes, they're correct. We teamed up to help the elementals, the elves again. Because they want to bring through some. Well, you've heard about the 7 avatars and all that, right?
Yeah.
The avatars. Yeah. Okay. Well, I birthed the Elven avatar. The one for the elves. The one for the elves. The Elven avatar.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. She was born actually right after 9/11.
So now, when you bore her, was there an incubation period, or you guys consummated the process and all of a sudden it happened right there on the spot?
No, it's 8 months.
Really? So it was actually an actual period of time that you had her in your womb for that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. People have to understand it's all energy. It's energetic, but it's still. I mean, that's still a being that's coming through.
Well, I guess that I don't know. According to what I understand, you can consummate the process and it can be happen right there. I think it does. I mean, in various levels. But again, you're talking about an avatar, which could be a whole different program anyhow. But I think anytime anybody has sex with each other, period. Whether they're trying to have a baby or not, they do have a spirit child regardless right there on the spot. And I'm talking about, every day, thousands of spirit childs are happening every day all over the world. That's what I'm understanding. But that's besides.
That's one way of it. I can see that. I can see that approach. Sure. This one, her mission. Her name is MRI. Her mission is to actually appear to humans, so that when she's older. And, of course, when elves come, they stay for a long time. They only come once, and they stay for, hundreds of years. But her mission is to actually appear to humans. She's going to help the Earth recover from its mess that it's in. So that's
nice.
her job.
How old is she?
Yeah, it is. She will be, her birthday is October 30th, and she will be 13.
Really? Oh, she's not that old. Oh, she's pretty young still. So,
no, she's still pretty young, yeah.
Now, what about your husband? Now, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is he has to stay basically away from you until the pregnancy takes place, or how does that go work?
No, there's plenty of time for both guys.
you're not missing out on anything, that's for sure. Okay, I hear you.
No, there is really.
Yeah. No, so okay, so that's interesting. And you've only done one of those childs, or how many childs of those have you done?
I'm pregnant with number 8.
You're pregnant with number 8. Holy cow! You haven't.
Yes.
You just don't stop, do you? So and what? Are
No, this is. No, the first 4 were definitely, they were all, their purpose is to appear to humans. The second 4 are all healers. And I think that we'll stop after this one. He asked me, we did 4, and he said, well, there's another 4 that want to come through. And I said, well, okay. So this is number 8. This is going to be born in December.
Oh, interesting. So now, your physical body, does it take on all those properties of being pregnant, or how does that work?
Well, not so much the physical stuff, but energetically. I mean, I go to somebody who does who does healing work, and she can tell. I don't even have to tell her. She can tell. And in fact, my Chinese herbalist could feel 2 pulses. When she did my pulses, she could feel 2. So
wow, really?
Energetically, it's there. Yeah. Energetically, the being is there. But just like a human baby, it doesn't. The being, you have to get the setting right. You have to get the energy right before the actual being comes in. I don't know how many people will agree with this, but according to the guides and according to the book that Darcy wrote, that the human soul doesn't really enter the mother's womb until somewhere between 10 days and 3 days before birth. And it's kind of the same experience I've had. Yeah, it's the same experience I've had. I mean, for one thing, when you get pregnant, if there's any pregnant people listening out there, any pregnant gals, there are lots of different souls checking you out. All right.
Really?
One of them will finally pick you. Yeah, because you should see there's a great chapter in this book where I'm picking my parents, and I have 20 to choose from.
Wow.
And I get to watch them and see what they're like before I
see if you want to put up with them or not. Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. And not to be off the cuff or off the table, or off awkward. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want. But now in the actual consummation process with Darcy, is there a physical thing that goes on with you guys, or it's just an energetic thing? And there's like a transference of energy, and that's it. No actual sexuality or whatever going on.
Well, you're asking about making love. Okay. He can bring his energy inside me and bring me to orgasm. Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking, and I hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Well. Okay. So no, I hear. So wow. So he's literally bringing you to a state of physical height that ghosts aren't able to do that, but I'm pretty sure. But and I don't know if I've heard that with anybody else. I've experienced some very similar transfers of energies in that same way as well, but maybe not as in depth as you. So that's very interesting.
Well, it's definitely it's blissful. It's tremendously blissful. I'm sure you know.
And does it last like only a couple hours, or like literally a whole day, or 2 or 3?
Oh, it can really change me. His energy can stay with me for days. It's really lovely.
No, I hear you, and I can imagine. I've had similar experiences, and I know what you're talking about. Literally. So, okay, interesting.
Very good.
All right. So now, and you're into your 8th child. Well, how old are the other kids, and what are their names, and what are they doing?
Well, the boys came in pairs. They came as twins. The next two were Ozark and Ulari, and they were and the one I was introduced to them by what they had done in a former life. One of them was King Arthur in a former life, and one of them was Robin Hood in a former life.
Oh, really?
So so that was interesting. They came together. They were born in the spring, and they are 11. They just turned 11 in April. And then there's Izarai, and these are all the elven ones. And she was born July 3rd. She is going to be 7. Now the healers, first healers were a pair of.
What does she do? Or what's she going to do?
Well, all of them. Well, Emerai more than any, but all of them are work with plants. They work with trees and plants. I got to tell you, I have a pear tree. I have a pear tree that never ever gave me any pears, and last year I had so many pears that my neighbors and we canned 100 jars.
Wow, amazing! That's interesting. And they've been working with your trees.
My trees, my plants. I have in fact What's what I was doing today was trying to get the rest of the garden in so I can go down to Arkansas. I put in my beans. Yeah, I put in my beans today, and we planted potatoes. I have 4 big gardens. I have a north, east, south, and west garden.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that before. I don't think. I've heard of the gardens from what is it, Plantery? Up in the East Coast, and then the one in England. But I haven't heard. They were built in special ways, but I don't remember if they organized them in towards the north, east, south, west or not. I don't think they did. It was just like a circular type of thing that I can remember and
right.
Design. Certain design.
Like a medicine wheel, sure.
Exactly.
Yep, like a medicine wheel. So this is just how it worked out on my land. That they were in the 4 places that made the 4 corners. So.
Got it. So now these beans are they the same height as you are, or are they just little small beans?
Well, the elves are generally not quite as big, although I don't know. No, well, Arillo is as tall as me. I'm trying to think, but they're in all shapes and sizes like humans are, and the kids are kids, until they grow. So that's how they present themselves.
They're in etheric form. Are they in etheric form? I'm assuming they're in etheric form, right?
They're in spirit form. Yes, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes.
And then now.
But I can.
They never sleep. I'm taking it, and they all. And I don't know. I don't know if they stay in your house or where they go. But and I don't think I'm not sure if you have a room for them or whatever. But how does all that work? The elementals like to be outside. Oh, so they just go like to be all the time outside, and they come back and visit.
Yeah, in fact they have I bring them through, and pretty much the elementals raise them because I have contact with them, but I don't really raise them. They go with their people. What can I say?
Oh, okay.
But Darcy is with me all the time, and unless I ask for privacy, which sometimes I do when I want to make love with my husband, my earth husband, my human husband.
Yeah, so he leaves you be.
Well, that's part of the spirit guide creed, anyway.
Yeah,
if you know that, anyway.
No, and it's funny because I did the same decree with my father like not too long ago. One of the readers picked him up coming into my presence, and so we had a conversation through her, and then I said, well, you can visit me wherever you want, but when I'm making love to my partner, you can't be there. You have to be out of the room. So I made that.
Yep, that's right, and you have that right to ask for that, and that includes any spirits that are around. You can ask for that. Yep.
Absolutely. So interesting, and then so now you described 3 of them, and one the girls 7 and the twin boys, and it's funny because I've been doing this webinar series all week long, and every day I didn't go out of my way to do this. It just happened on its own somehow or another. Like the Monday I did my presentation, and then we all talked about souls, and then another day we all talked about healing, and then another day we all talked about manifestation, and today we've been talking about twins and also partners, unusual paranormal relationships, I guess you can call it. But the woman that I interviewed right before you, she has a partner that, in kind of the same realms, but that's besides the point. So it's kind of interesting how everything will kind of work out. But so you have these 3 kids, and then you said there's 3 others or 4 others, I guess, and then you're having 1 more. So you didn't describe the others yet, or what's going on with them.
No, the next the 2 boys came together. Zoe and Vi, they have long names, but I just call them by their short names. They came in January of 2010, and they're still pretty little. And then Rose came a year and a half ago in June. So it's her birthday. In fact, her birthday will be in the conference when I'm at the conference.
Oh, really?
And then this next one, yeah. So then this next one will be December. So, and I think that will probably be it.
Well, so
I don't know.
You didn't tell us what they're here to do.
Well, they're healers. They're healers, and they have come to actually.
Again, the twins coming in, they're healers, is what I hear you saying. But
they're very powerful. What?
Go ahead.
No, they're very powerful, but they're still pretty young yet. I mean, they're only 4. Yeah, but they're here because this planet is going to need a boatload of healing, and they're here to help it. Don't forget, these are all elementals we're talking about. So when we're talking elementals, we're talking about dealing with the earth and the plant life and the flora and the fauna and all of that. And they're here to heal it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I know it'll be okay with you, but whenever your kids want to come and visit me to help me out and whatever I'm doing, they're allowed to come and visit me. How's that?
Wait a minute. You ran that by me pretty quick. What was that again?
I said whenever your kids want to come and visit me to help me heal the earth, help heal people or whatever, they're welcome to come and visit me.
Well, that's terrific. I'll pass that along to all of them.
If they ever want to come to Arizona, no kidding.
Sure. I don't think they have any trouble getting from here to there.
No, that's what I feel. I don't think they have any problems getting here at all.
Nope.
So now this one.
So how we doing?
Oh no, well I tell you what, this is a good time to take a breather, and we're gonna play some music by a guy by the name of Kaya. Apparently, this guy was like a famous rock and roll type of star or whatever, or pop star, music star in Canada several years ago, and then he just stopped and said, "I don't want to do this anymore. See you later, bye." And he went out, in hiding for over 20 years, and recently he just came back into the program, and he came out with this album called Born Under the Star of Change. So I want to play this song called In the Heart of the Sun. And I want to send out love, blessings, healings, angels of light, and love to you, and all your family. I don't even know exactly what the parameters are for that, but all your family, and all my family and friends, and all your friends, and of course to my car and my place of residence that takes care of me, to all the people that out there just doing their thing and making it work and working towards helping this planet and the people on this planet and the animals and the plants on this planet, to the military and their family and friends, and the President of the United States, his family and friends, and anybody else you want to add to that, Annie?
What was that again?
Anybody else you want to add to that?
Oh gosh. Well, of course, all the spirit guides who are working so hard to help their humans.
Absolutely. To everyone else on the planet in need and concern, and we will be back. In the Heart of the Sun by Kaya from his album Born Under the Star of Change, and we will be back.
I was looking at myself the other day, staring into my eyes in the mirror, and the me that I know fell away. Never saw myself any clearer, and all that there was pure. In the heart of the sun, the heat of the fire that burns in my soul. It's the power of love. The one that I am and the one that is all, and the all that is one. In the heart of the sun, faces like my country, followed one after another, anger and laughter and pain, until my soul was conquered in joy. All that was left was future. In the heart of the sun, in the heat of the fire that burns in my soul, it's the power of love. The one that I am and the one that is all, and the all that is one. I was looking at myself the other day, staring into my eyes in the mirror, and the me that I was now has changed, and I see myself ever clearer in the heart of the sun, in the heat of the fire that burns in my soul. It's the power of love. The one that I am and the one that is all, in the heart of the sun, in the heat of the fire that burns in my soul. It's the power of love. The one that I am and the one that is all, in the all that is one. In the heart of the
Awesome, awesome. Aloha, and we're back. This is Andrew Aloha Live out of Tucson, Arizona, with Spiritual Image Productions on Blog Talk Radio and Webinar Jam, establishing and maintaining right relationships through human values. Aloha again, and welcome to tonight's show, Andrew Aloha Live. Tonight we're interviewing. This is the fourth in a series of interviews that we've been doing with the Ozark Mountain Transformation Conference. They're going to be doing their conference in Arkansas, Springdale, Arkansas, next weekend. So if you haven't got a ticket and you're interested in attending that conference, go to Ozark Mountain and check it out, and just Google Ozark Mountain and you can find it there. But anyhow, tonight we're talking with Annie Stillwater Gray, who tells us that she's been working with or carrying on with a paranormal relationship with her and a spirit guide by the name of Darcy Stillwater, who she says are married with each other. 1991, is that when you said you were married with each other?
November 1st, yep.
November 1st, 1991. They were married, and he's in the spirit body. He doesn't live in a physical body, but they've been married. And so again, I consider it a paranormal relationship, but that doesn't mean anything. So anyhow, and then since then, she's also married with a husband that's is in the physical body. That they've been all working together, and she also says that, well, first of all, she's been going through this process, this whole relationship with Darcy, where they've been learning about each other in terms of him learning how to be a spirit guide, and so that's one of the agreements they've had with each other since all this, and then also. She's also had eight kids, or she's about to have her 8th child right now as we speak. She'll be now. I guess we didn't ask that, but what is the labor process for this for these children when you have them, Darcy?
Well, it's I have to be ready. The different children want different things. I remember Emery really wanted me to put my hands in the earth a lot, and each of the spirit children had a something like ravens were her thing, and so there were a lot of ravens around before she was born. With the twins, it was crows, and it was like a flicker with Izari when in July when she was born, but they just wanted different things. One of them wanted me to go in the shower and do my heavy breathing there. Breath can do a lot. So there's a lot to do with breath and the energy, and I just let them show me what to do, basically, because each child is a little bit different. And anybody who's had a human child could say that, can attest to that. Each child is different.
So mostly you're saying that you do go through a breathing process in order for those to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
And then is there an energetic, I guess, child that comes from you or not, or how does that work?
Yes. An energetic being comes through me, yes. And there's a deal that Darcy and I made to help the elementals, because they want to strengthen their numbers and strengthen their power on the planet so they can help the earth. And by having them come through me and Darcy, that means they've got connections to humans. It makes it easier for them to communicate with humans because they understand humans better because of coming through me. And they also can work with the spirit guides better because of having Darcy be involved. So everybody works together better through this process.
Got it. So, and as I speak right now, I'm trying to bring your book title up on the screen so that we can see you, but see your book cutter. But anyhow, all right. We got about 30 minutes just go ahead. Wherever you want to go to from here. I'm sure there's all kinds of stories you can tell us about all this process, but just tell us whatever you want us to know. Go ahead.
Well, I want people to be I want to interest people in the book, obviously, as well as the conference. The book really is a fabulous story. If you just like stories, you can read this without even, having to worry about, is this true? Is this true? Because it tells Darcy's whole journey through becoming a spirit guide. It takes him from, when did he die? 1836 until I'm born in 1946. So to become, that's 110 years Earth time.
Wow.
for him to become a spirit guide. But that's, that they don't have time on the spirit guide plane. Certainly, you know that. So he has to go through the process, and then throughout, he learns about the whole first half of the book. He learns about me through past lives. So there's a past life that we had as Inuits when I was his daughter, and I saved his life. There was a past life that we had when in Rome. We were husband and wife in that one. And, of course, the one in Egypt that I mentioned before was very significant. He was younger than me. He was my student, but ended up becoming my husband eventually. We were summoned to be healers in the Pharaoh's court, and that did get me into trouble. Somebody got very jealous and knocked me off in that lifetime, so I was murdered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Too influential, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No,
and then there was, so anyway, there's all these wonderful stories, and you can see one of the reasons that the stories are here is to show how karma moves through lifetimes. People say, oh, there's no such thing as karma. I can rob a bank. I can do whatever I want and get away with it. But the next life, you're going to have to pay somehow.
Yeah, sooner or later. Exactly.
For instance, exactly. So by following these different lifetimes, you can see how the karma moves. And, I wasn't sure I wanted to do this, honestly, Andrew, because it exposes my karma pretty radically.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's going to dissolve and go away anyhow. So I don't think it's that dangerous to put it out there. But it's undetermined.
Well, I figured if it's going to help people, right? That's what I said. If it's going to help people, yeah, exactly. And they read some of the things that I did. Then the reader can go, well, maybe I haven't gotten so bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I hear you, and then I hear you. Again, there's a lot of magic tricks that people work with and all kinds of stuff, but in the end, everybody has to evolve. Everybody will evolve for the most part and move on with their karma, with their dharma, with their lives, and so forth.
Yeah, my problem was that I was doing quite well, as a healer in Egypt and as an advisor to the pharaoh. I was an astrologer also in Egypt, so that's how come astrology came so easy to me. Yeah, that's why it was so easy for me, because when I saw my chart, I knew I'd seen it before, and I kind of already knew what it meant. I already had that information from the past life. But I made a mistake. And fell, and I fell into what is described as a pocket of karmic despair, And so that's what I had to come back to Earth and learn a whole bunch of lessons because of that.
Well, here you are. Go ahead.
Yeah, here I am. Well, I wanted to give an example of how the karma really moves from one life to the next. I had made a terrible mistake as a father. This was in that valley right between Germany and France, and it was in the Middle Ages, which was a kind of a dark time anyway. And I had made a mistake. I'd lost my temper, and I inadvertently killed my oldest child. I kicked him. I didn't mean to, but I obviously damaged an internal organ or something. And of course, back then, no one knew how to fix. The kid died, and at that point, I had this choice. I mean, I could have become a better father. I could have. I had 8 kids at that point, and I could have become a better father. I could have taken a lot of time with my kids. I could have been a much bigger help to my wife, who is Darcy, by the way. But instead, what I did was I closed myself away in a room, a dark room, right? And I cursed my leg. I cursed the leg that had kicked my kid. I sat there and I flailed it, and I cursed it, okay? And didn't eat, didn't pay any attention to my kids, wouldn't talk to my wife, and wasted away and died. And so that my death imprint was you could hardly see anything. All you could see was this little pink circle in the middle that said that I was still a soul anyway. And the leg was just a what can I say? It was just a line because I had cursed it so much. People think curses aren't real, but if you put it on yourself and then you die, and then you're born. You know what? The next lifetime, I had no leg.
Wow, wow.
I had no leg. I was born a cripple in India. I had no leg.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
So,
a number of lives in India as well, and even this lifetime, I still have to deal with this, a lot of those elements as well.
yeah. So that's how karma can move from one lifetime to another. So it's very important how people pass away, how they die. It's very important, because if you die in fear, then fear is going to be a major thing you have to deal with in the next life.
Got it.
That's why I feel so bad for soldiers, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of them do die that way, huh?
The people, that die in war, it's terrible, because they're dying in with this fear, you know, and then they have to come back and they have to deal with it the next life. So it's very important that if you're helping someone pass over, that you make sure they feel loved and they're peaceful and they're comfortable, and they can pass with a lot of blessings. That's so important.
Got it. No, years ago when my dad passed away, back in 2005 March, I felt empathy for him and compassion, because I was living in Flagstaff, either Flagstaff or Sedona at the time, and I came across him, and I heard him saying his last words were Rosie, which is the name of his wife. His last words were, Rosie, I'm really scared, and then all of a sudden he was out and he was done. So and I heard him saying that clairvoyantly, and I felt a real compassion for him, and you can never tell how comfortable people are with death until they actually get there and it's done. But and I didn't know if he was, how good he felt about death or not. But I guess he didn't feel as comfortable.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Was your mother there physically, or had she passed over already?
No, my mother, my real mother's still alive, but his wife, who's my stepmother at the time, she was there with him, and no, she was there with him. Like physically.
Rosie?
Physical, yes. Physical.
Okay. Because one of the things that I was also with my mom when she passed, and my dad came first. I was surprised at that, but my dad, he was in spirit. He came first, and then her mother and father came, and then her sisters came, and they all were standing around the bed. This is spirit. I could see that they were there, and they were all there to welcome her and to help her pass over.
Oh, nice. No, I wasn't physically with my father at all. I wasn't in the same room with him at all. I was literally completely in a different city. He was in White Mountains or something like that. I can't remember. And I was all the way in Flagstaff or Sedona when I heard him saying this, and I heard him speak his last words, and
isn't that something?
Clairvoyance.
Yep.
But we had a conversation afterwards. We did have a conversation. And even about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess 4 weeks ago, we had another conversation. But I had already had conversations with him via telepathy in the spirit world prior to that.
Yep.
And just made amends with him and moved on with it.
In fact, I've come to find that when you first pass over, they let you go around and say goodbye. And in fact, I was out picking raspberries 2 summers ago when my father-in-law passed away, and he knew once he passed over that I would be able to hear him. So he came by and he said, "Oh, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing." And I said, "How are you?" Because he had died of Parkinson's, so he was in bad shape, but he was just as vibrant and as wonderful as ever. And so I said to him, "Well, what's it like over there?" And he says, "Oh, I can't describe it. It's too wonderful." And I said, "Wait a minute now. You mean there's no way we can know?" He goes, "Oh, no, there are clues. Thanks a lot."
No, I've had a number of relatives that have passed on already, and it always amazes me because I always have a different connection with them every time. They're always not the same type of connection. They're just all very different. My father passed away, and then who was it that passed away? When My grandmother. She was the funnest to deal with when she passed away. She was really fun. I brought her. Well, she passed away on the same day I think that my brother died. So anyhow, yeah, it was, and we always had we always had a connection with each other. I went over there and lived with her for 2 or 3 years. I can't remember. But when I did, I was already on the path, and I was already doing the work, the service, and all that stuff. So I taught her some of the stuff, and I helped actually initiate her into all that. And then she all of a sudden she started praying, and literally she just prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And then when she passed away, which is on the same day as my brother, I think, my father and I, we both drove and took off to Texas, where we were living we were in California at the time. So we went over there, and on the way there, there's a 3-day incubation period, more or less, these beings go through once they pass on. So they pass on Saturday, and then with 3 days afterwards, or I guess two and a half, or, well, 3 days in that process, they stick around, and either it's determined from that process whether they stay stuck as a ghost or they move on to the spirit world or whatever. So anyhow, she kept coming back to me while we were on our way to Texas, and she came to me and visited me, and she told me how happy she was, and she was always in pain. She said she didn't feel any pain anymore, and then on the way there, she came back to me again the next night and visited me. She was really happy with where she was at and what was going on, and she was thankful. She thanked me for for us going out there, and then I can't remember the conversation exactly how it all went, but on the third night she came to me. Well, actually, I couldn't understand. She wasn't around. I go, well, what happened to her? I thought she was supposed to be her third day. So sure enough, she came, and I think I can't remember if it was that day or a different a few days later, but she came back. She had her wings, her angel wings, and she was all happy about that. And then she took off. And then, well, I was the pallbearer, one of the pallbearers when we went to did the funeral, the ceremonies, and all the way down to the cemetery, there was like a road of gold, just everything was gold, and there was all these angels and little fairies and all these little beings, all these people, all these beings, all the way down to the cemetery. They were just all just like celebrating with her, with her, and so forth. So it was pretty amazing. I was pretty taken, but and I had never experienced anything like that before. But it was a big celebration. It was just really cool.
Excellent. Yeah. The way it should be.
Exactly. Yeah. So ever since then, when people tell me about so and so died or so and so passed away, well, enjoy it, celebrate with them, enjoy.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyhow, we got about 15 minutes left, and this is Kaya, by the way, in case you want to know the album that we played earlier. But we got about 15 minutes left, and is there anything that you want to put out there that we haven't talked about yet? Go ahead.
Well, I think that my personal mission is to encourage everybody to make their spirit guides a part of their life. I mean, the good news is everybody has, a primary guide, a spirit guide, a life guide, and they're there, and you can, even if you don't have your telepathy going, you can still ask them questions. You can still, I tell people, so people are starting to read the book and they come up to me and go, well, I can't talk to my guide. Why isn't I can't talk? Well, you don't have to right away. It'll happen if you want it to happen. There's certain steps you can do. One of them is meditate, but there's a few things that I talk about that help you get there. But you can still, they're there. Know in your heart they're there, and know that you can trust them. And so you can do things like keep a journal, and if you want help with something, write it down. Be very detailed. Be very specific about what you want, because if you're not, you may get something that you weren't expecting.
Now, I want to say real quick, area code 561, just let her finish up this thought, and then we'll bring you a question. But go ahead, Annie.
Oh, there's a question?
Yeah, we have a call.
Really?
Do you want to take a call?
I sure would. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, area code 561, Aloha, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Who are we talking to, and how did you hear about us, and where are you located at?
I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I just came across your Blog Talk Radio, and I was very interested in it. And
what's your name? First name?
My name is Annette.
Okay, Annette, thank you for calling. So, do you have a question for Andy?
Well, yes, I don't know how to say it, but I want to be closer with my spirit guides. Is there any insight that you can give me that, what do you call it? Anything that I can, get closer to my spirit guides? Is there any messages?
Well, I can tell you two things you can do. One, of course, is obviously you want to, so that's there, but you also have to allow quiet time for the guide to be able to, share with you. And if you want to,
I meditate like crazy.
Oh, great! You're already there, really. And if you want to get that telepathy going, usually the conversation comes first. You start hearing your guide speak. Not everybody. Everybody has a different way of connecting, but the telepathic center is right. It's like between your third eye and then down from the crown of your head, right in there. You can just put light in there. Maybe while you're meditating, or maybe while you're standing in line at the grocery store, or whatever. Just light up that area, and then and just your guide's right there. The message is your guide's right there.
So,
and loves you.
And then, do you have telepathic rapport with your guide or not right now, or how's that going for you?
I think he's asking you, Annette.
Is that right? Oh, I don't know. She disappeared for some reason. All right. Well.
Okay.
But that's okay. So anyhow, go ahead.
Well, the fact that Annette is a meditator, she's just about there, because meditation is one of the biggest steps. There's the 4 cornerstones of being able to get in touch with your guide are meditation, right? Prayer, deep breathing, and visualization.
Got
right? So those are the 4 cornerstones. Yeah.
Well, now for those of you that are interested in learning that process, there's maybe you just started meditating, maybe you just started praying, maybe you just started on the path. There's some very basic, simple methods that you can use to help connect with your spirit guide and also begin to build that rapport with them. And basically, you can start working with muscle testing. If you don't know what muscle testing is you can develop with that. Use also the chain where you move around a crystal or something like that, a pendant. What's that called? Do you know what I'm talking about, Annie?
What, the I Ching?
Well, yeah, you can use that as well. That you can work with that, and then you can also work with tarot cards, and then that pendant where you dowsing or something. Is that what it's called, dowsing?
Well, yeah, you can pendle. That's an easy way to do yes and no.
Yeah. You can use pendulums.
Pendle, yeah.
And then of course the other thing you can do is just ask simple yes or no questions about something. Am I going to be going on a vacation trip next year? And you can just ask your guide. When I first started, I would always put it in the form of primary guide of the divine light. Am I going to be going to England this July? And then I would wait for an answer. And sometimes I would have to sit there and wait for literally 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes and listen for the answer. And deep within me, I would hear an answer, and then I would just go with that, and then go from there. But again, you can use a pendulum, you can use I Ching, you can use tarot cards, you can use muscle testing. There's all kinds of things you can do to start building that rapport. But inevitably, meditation and praying, like you said, and breathing wouldn't help, and also What was the fourth method that you were talking about?
Well, let's see, visualization, prayer, deep breathing, and
that
and
wouldn't
then
hurt either. That wouldn't hurt either. But anyhow, you have to start somewhere, and if you don't take the time to work with establishing the rapport, then
Andrew, you brought up you brought up tarot, and I have one more thing I'd like to say, and that is using the image of the Lovers card. You know what that is, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Lovers. The Lovers card is always fascinated me, probably because it has a naked man and a naked woman on it. But, the naked man is looking at the naked woman, and the naked woman is looking up at the angel that's above them.
Yeah.
Now, what's changing now, and what I teach people to do, and what that represents is the man represents the conscious mind going through the subconscious mind to get to the angel or the higher self or the spirit guide, whatever. But now we can make the other part of that triangle. We can go directly from the conscious mind to the spirit guide or to the guardian angel. And that's what I teach.
Got it. I hear. Now, let me ask you this. How many cards are there in a tarot deck?
Well, there's 22 major, and then there's all the minor arcana as well. So, there's a lot.
Well, how many is it all together then? 22 plus, how many are there in the minor?
I'm trying to think, because I just basically use the majors, but there's the different suits, right? There's basically earth, air, fire, water, cups and wands and swords, right? So each of those has a number 2. They have like the ace, and then all the way down. It's based, it came out of a deck of playing cards. It's been around since. Golly, they say Egypt was the first time they used cards like that, but I know for sure that it was.
In that case, there's supposed to be 54 cards in that. I'm assuming, right?
Right, but I don't know if they count the major. See, in a regular deck, you have you have the Jack, King, Queen of each one, so that's just 12. But in tarot, you have 22 major arcana.
Because,
so it's a little different.
I've been doing readings with this tarot card deck that I have, white, what is it called? Rider?
The Rider?
Yeah. Anyhow,
yeah, the Rider deck.
I kept sensing like there's 1 or 2 cards missing, and I think you just hit it on the nose. I think the Lovers card's missing. No wonder I haven't had any girlfriends around lately. What the heck's going on? Yeah.
I didn't quite get that last thing you said, but that's. You need to have.
I think I'm missing the Lovers card.
Well, gee.
Yeah.
You got to get that one.
I got to go get me another deck. That's all it's to it. I got to have that one for sure.
Yep, and that is about relationships as well, too.
Exactly.
It's a multi-leveled. All the cards are multi-leveled, especially the major arcana.
Yeah, I'm going to have to sit through this and go through this and see if I can figure out what cards are missing, because I think the Lovers card is missing. That may actually be the only one that's missing, believe it or not.
That's funny.
I don't know.
No, you need that one.
Yeah, I definitely have to go get me another deck or something. So anyhow, I think we only got about and I don't know what happened in that, but we got about 4 minutes left. Andy, anything else you want to put out there that we haven't put out yet?
Just that I'm really easy to reach. I'm going to have my new website is going up tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And it's easy. Yeah, it is. We revamped it so that it would feature this book.
Got it. And that again, the training of a spirit guide, education of a guardian angel. That's available through Ozark Mountain. Is it on Amazon as well? Annie, are you still there? Don't tell me we lost her too. I think we lost her. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys for being here. I guess we lost Annie, but again, if you haven't checked it out, go to Ozark Mountain, check that out. and you may very well be close by to be able to go to the Transformation Conference next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, and I want to thank all of you for being here. Have a God-Goddess weekend, or week, I guess. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.